Hi guys, welcome back. So for today's video, I am bringing you the review of the Tarte it's Tarte Sugar Rush, so it's like their sister brand, I guess, BU palette, as chosen by you guys. So if you are new here, then maybe you don't know, but I do this series where every month I put up a small selection of palettes that I own that are still available for purchase. I try and put like newer ones if I happen to have some that I think people might be interested in, and then I have people comment which one they want to see a more in-depth review of, and then I spend a month kind of playing around with the palette, making sure that I try every single shade in the palette, and then I come back and give you guys my thoughts, because sometimes the first impressions or swatches don't tell the whole story, and if you really want if you want to make an informed decision whether or not to purchase it, it's better to watch like a more in-depth review, I guess. So let me just get into it. So this palette came out in, I believe, December 2019, so it's still new. I guess you would call it pretty new. It is $35. I believe that's the Canadian price because I'm in Canada, but I'm pretty sure I paid $35 plus tax and whatever for this. And you get 20 shades. So that's, to me, I felt like that was a really good price for 20 shades, like $35, like that's really good. So I thought I would give it a try, and I really loved the design. I love the hexagon pans. I love the, it's a color story that I know a lot of people already have a lot of these colors in their collection, but me personally, I don't. Most of my shadows and stuff are cool tone, and so I thought I would give this one a shot. So I did do a swatching video. If you want to go check that out, I will link it in the description box below. But this video is going to be more of an in-depth review. So firstly, let me just talk about the packaging. Like I said, I think it's really, really cute. I like aesthetically looking at it. I think I really am drawn to it. But I will say, if you're looking for a palette that's going to be kind of like a luxe feel, like something that feels expensive, feels luxurious and stuff, this is not going to be the one for you. It's literally plastic. It's very light, so it doesn't feel like heavy and like expensive and stuff like that. I mean, you can probably tell by looking at it like that you're not going to get that kind of like luxe experience from the packaging from this palette. But if you're okay with like a plastic sort of like cheaply made packaging, then I still think it looks really pretty. Like for what they were working with, to keep it at a $35 price point, obviously they needed to do some kind of cheaper packaging, and I think given that they were trying to work within that price point, I think what they did come up with as a concept is really, really pretty. So yeah, if that's something that bothers you though, then you're probably going to want to avoid this. The lid doesn't go all the way back. I know some people are bothered when they can't open a palette fully flat. So just so you guys know, this is as far back as it will go. If I go any further, it'll break. So just keep that in mind too. There's obviously no mirror on this. So if you want a mirror on your palettes, then this is not going to really work for you, I guess. That's about all I have to say for packaging. I will mention that, like, as you can see, some of the shades are pressed with that that honeycomb kind of design, and other ones are pressed with like a bee imprint. And when I first got it, I was like a little hesitant to like use those shades because I was like, oh, they're so pretty, like I don't want to wreck them, you know what I mean? But obviously I got over that and used them. But I will say that the imprints actually hold up for like quite a long time. Like I've used, like, for example, this shade here is a little worn down, and like this sort of burgundy shade down here is a little worn down, as you can see. But like, I guess they're not like super soft. So like I've used this one a few times and you can still clearly see the imprint. Like, not that that's really super important at all, but like, it's not like the first time you use it, you're going to destroy the little imprint on there. But yeah. So, okay, let's talk more about now that we're over like packaging stuff, let's talk more about like the actual quality. So I will preface this by saying, okay, let me start with talking about the mattes, because there's some mattes and some shimmers in here. So for the mattes, I will start out by saying I like it. Like, I really enjoy working with this palette. I feel like it blends really, really well. Like, the colors blend really well into each other, and they blend out to a really like soft, diffused kind of, you know, like you don't get a harsh line too much when you're blending them. So for me personally, I really like the formula. However, I will say that if you like the kind of matte formula where it's like one swipe and you've got like massive like a really nice pigmentation and like color payoff, this is not going to be for you, because this is definitely more of a sheer buildable formula, I would say. So for me personally, I like that because I find it blends out a little bit better. So I kind of like that about them. But yeah, if you're one of those people that likes to get like full pigmentation with one swipe, you probably aren't going to like it. The matte formula. I'm going to try and show you guys with a brush here what I mean about buildability, is that a word? But you know what I'm saying. So I'm just going to start with like this is a matte shade right here that I think will be good for like just demonstrating. And I did swatch these already, like I said in another video, but that was with my finger, and I want to show you how it applies like with a brush. So I just have like kind of like a typical eyeshadow, like it's one of those double-ended Sephora brushes, so it's not like the best brush in the world, but it's not terrible. So I'm just going to show you like with first swipe what it's going to look like. It's going to be pretty sheer, as you can see. Like there is like some there's some pigmentation there, but I just want to show you as I build it up like how you can intensify it. I want to make sure this is still on camera when I do this. And I'm just going to dip in again. So you can probably see it's like really deepening up, and I find like it really blends out to like a really nice diffused look. Like, I hope you guys can see that, but like I find it's very like if I'm trying to soften the edges, like I find that to be really good for that. But it's not going to be the same as, you know, one swipe and you get what I'm saying. I'm kind of like repeating myself now. So that's how I feel about the matte shades in here. They all appear to be, you know, on par with each other, I guess. Let's talk about the shimmer shades. So as you can see, there are some shimmer shades like this one, for example. Like there's a few in there. There's a few shimmer shades in there. And what I will say about the shimmer shades, they are not my favorite shimmer formula. I find when you are just applying them with a dry brush, you don't get a whole lot of, let me just show you as well. Since I have this brush here, I'm just gonna take off the excess of that matte shade, kind of clean it off. But yeah, they don't have super great color payoff, like super great pigmentation, like, and okay, so when it comes to mattes, I don't mind that because you can build it up, but I find with these, like when you're just applying them with a brush, I'm just going to do this one right here because it's like a darker one, so it might show up a little better on camera. So this is how it looks when you apply the shimmer shade with a brush. Like it's very like, it's not like nothing shows up, but like, I don't know. It applies way better with a finger. Like, let me show you just beside that. Like, look at the difference there. Brush to finger, like it's like night and day. Like it almost like ends up looking kind of matte when you just like apply it with a brush. Like all the shimmer particles kind of diffuse out, and so that's not ideal. If you do apply it with a finger, like I would suggest applying it either with a wet brush or with your finger if you want to get that more intense effect. And it's not terrible, like I said. I'm just gonna, as I talk, I'm just gonna wipe that off my arm now. So yeah, it's not terrible. Like I said, you can kind of make it work, but in terms of shimmer formulas, it's not my favorite. Like I tend to create like the shading that I want, like with the mattes in here. Like I like to make my eye have some dimension to it with the matte shades, and then I end up reaching for one of my more preferred shimmer formula palettes to complete the look instead of using the ones that are in here, just because I find a lot of these shimmer colors I have in a better formula in another palette that like goes on with a lot more ease. So if you were looking to get this particularly for the shimmer shades, I would say just know that like it is a $35 palette, so it does perform on par with that price point. It's not going to blow you away, you know what I mean? Especially the shimmer shades. So keep that in mind if you are thinking about picking this up. If you were looking at this and thinking the shimmers were gorgeous and you were hoping for like something that would blow you away, I will make another recommendation instead. It is more money, of course. It's actually about double the price, but it works 100,000 times better for shimmer shades. And that is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. This has a lot of similar colors like in there with the shimmers. I hope that's gonna focus. I don't know if it will, but you can sort of, I don't know. But anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, a lot of the shimmers that are in this palette, you could pretty much dupe out with this palette and you're gonna get a much better quality of shimmer in here. So that's what I have to say on that. But for the price point of $35, I think you get good value for the money. I will still stand by that statement. It's just, you know, for a $60 palette like this, it's gonna work twice as well because it costs twice as much, you know? So it kind of like makes sense. It's kind of what you would imagine. So I guess my main takeaway is don't expect like incredible things from this guy. But if you're going into it realistically thinking like, okay, it's a $35 palette, like for what it is it gonna be good? I would say yeah, for $35, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm definitely not hating it. I'm not gonna declutter it. I like it. I enjoy using it. I really do like a lot of the matte shades for like just the base of my look, and then like I said, if I want to jazz it up with like a shimmer, I just reach into another palette such as this one, or I have a few other palettes that have some good shimmers in them. So yeah, the shimmers in this, I will also say, even when you apply them with your finger and they look really good at first, after 4 hours or so, it really fades. Whereas the Chocolate Gold palette will last, like if you put it on and it looks amazing, like if you go back in 4 hours and look in the mirror, it's still gonna look amazing. So definitely this one is by far my favorite shimmer palette. I will just say that. But yeah, this one, it's a take it or leave it for me. Like I'm glad I have it. Like I said, I'm not gonna declutter it. I'm glad I have it. I really do love working with the mattes, but that's just my personal preference. So, okay. That's all I kind of have to say for that review. I'm starting to get repetitive now, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I will post another video in the next coming couple of days with a couple more selections for you guys of palettes that I will review for the next month. And you can comment your vote on which one you'd like to see me go in detail with. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to talking to you guys then. All right, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and like this video. That would be really helpful. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, thanks guys. Bye.